I went to Henry Elementary School. Actually, I started at Manchester in first grade, and then I went to Henry Elementary School through sixth grade. Went to Parkway West Junior High and am a proud graduate of Parkway West Senior High, class of 1979. My Parkway education, I think, was probably the greatest gift that my parents ever gave me. They made sure when we moved to St. Louis, right after I finished kindergarten, they made sure that we moved into the Parkway district. They made that a real, it was a deal breaker as far as the homes that they were looking for and buying, and I am so grateful that they did. I think that so many of the things that I learned in Parkway have become many of the things of who I am, starting with really the teachers I had when I was young. Mr. Hart in the sixth grade, I remember him. As a matter of fact, I remember writing a letter to the editor of the newspaper about Mr. Hart and how really special he made us all feel, and that was in the newspaper. That was my first letter to the editor of many. Over the years, I had Mrs. Payton, my choir teacher in junior high, who made me feel like I didn't have to be a shy, scared little girl anymore. She put me on a stage and made me feel like I was talented. When I went to high school, I joined the choirs there with Jerry Galloway, who was my mentor for many years, all through high school and even after that. And she put me back on the stage and made me feel like a star, like I could do anything. Jerry Galloway taught me that the reason that we're on this earth is to serve and make people feel better and make people live better. And that is what she did for me. I was a painfully shy girl, and she put me in places of leadership, and she put me out of my comfort zone and held me there until it became my comfort zone. And I didn't know it at the time, but she was teaching me how to become a great teacher. And I became a music teacher because of what I learned from her. I didn't play one note of piano when I started college, but I wanted to be like Jerry Galloway. I wanted to become her and do what she did for me. I wanted to do that for other people. And the people in the college said, "You are crazy. You can't read a note of music, but you're going to be a music teacher." And I said, "Yes, I am." And growing up in Parkway, I think also taught me that I could do whatever I wanted to do. I am still, at the age of 45, so proud to be a graduate of Parkway Schools, and that's why I traveled from Orlando to do this. Out of different awards and honors that have come my way, this one really means something. I have a 16-year-old son, Eric, who is the joy of my life, and when I haven't been to St. Louis for a while, but the last time that we were here, he was about 9 years old, and I said, "Honey, we're going over to my high school now." And he was like, "Mom, no, you don't know anybody over there anymore." And anyway, we went over to the school, and I dragged him everywhere. I said, "This is the gym. I learned how to play basketball here." And I said, "I'm going to take you down to the choir room, and this is where I spent my whole senior year. And I just want you to come in here and look. There's probably even pictures of me on the wall." And he was rolling his eyes and being a 9-year-old boy. But we went downstairs to the choir room, and I went in there, and he was even sweet enough to stay quiet while I walked around and looked at everything. And we left the choir room and went down the hallway. And as we were leaving the building, I happened to glance to my right, and there was not Miss G, because she had passed away, but the other choir director, Mickey K. Wonder, and the hair stood up on my entire body. I said, I dragged my kid, and we went screaming into that room. I said, "Mickey," and she, 20 some odd years later, remembered me, or at least said she did, which I thought was great. It was a magic moment. My son even still talks about it. He says, "I can't believe that there was still a teacher there when you were a kid." But it was just like going back in time. And Mickey also was somebody who took very good care of me during the time when Miss G had cancer and was ill. I was also in her music theory class, and she was very instrumental in keeping me together at that time as well. But to go back there and see a face that was so important to me, in those days, it was a miracle. Hobbies and passions. My hobbies and passions, besides my son, would be my students. I've worked at the same school for almost 20 years. It's an inner city school. It's in the area of Orlando it's crime and drugs and prostitution. We are in the zip code that has the highest rate of abuse and neglect calls in the entire state, and it's the place where I've called home. I actually brought my son. He came to school there after he was born. He went to school there from pre-K through third grade, and thrived there. It's a mission for me, and it's a passion for me to go in there and help. I hate to say the less fortunate, because it's a wonderful school and it's an oasis. It's a beautiful place, and when they're there, they're safe and they're happy. But that's another thing that Parkway taught me. Go out and serve and make it better for somebody. And it's the children that I have are children of drugs and alcohol, and they have all kinds of different problems and trauma in their lives that most of the fortunate Parkway graduates never have to see. And being able to work there is a great gift to me, as well as I think to the kids there. I know it's the best thing I ever did for my son. Excuse me, being able to. I mean, there is not an ounce of prejudice in my child's body, because his first best friends were children of poverty and children of crime and children just like him. He learned